Okay, can anybody hear me? I just got this new streaming setup so I can use my actual camera instead of my cell phone for live streams because the last few times I've been on a lot of shows recently and I look like kind of a moron. So hopefully this is going to be a better setup. I don't know if anybody can actually hear me. If you can hear me, put something in the chat if it's too low, or I tried doing it through OBS a second ago and it wasn't working. This is coming through the webcam. I'm using my Rode Micro on top. So anyway, I'm charging the batteries to this new DJI drone right now. Batteries, I should say one battery because that's all I have. So I can go fly it again. I didn't really think I was gonna want like the fly mower combo because I'm like 20 minutes of flight time. That's a lifetime to us. Well, that 20 minutes runs out rather quick, and especially if you're doing sport mode. I haven't actually tried the FPV mode. I've done it only about a couple of packs. Um, that drone took a while to set up and do all the updates, like an hour and a half. And UPS didn't deliver the damn thing until like 7:30 last night. It was already dark. By the time I did all the updates, I asked my wife if she wanted to come with me to fly it, and she was like, "To fly a drone? Like, why would I want to do that?" So I dragged her out of the house. I was like, "This is going to be awesome." It has that spotlight that shines down on the bottom, you know? And so I'm like getting everything set up. I get my chair, I get the goggles on, I turn everything on, bind it all up, and I go to take off. And it's like, you're in a restricted area. You can't fly. There's an airport like 37 miles away or something. Like, what? It was so frustrating. I went to another spot, still couldn't fly. The weird thing is, I went to one of the normal spots I fly, which is actually closer to the direction of the airport, and that was fine. So, Kebab mentioned in his video that there is a lot of issues with being able to take off that drone because of all the weird restrictions, and I can confirm that is a pain. What up, Lawrence? Nick Wicked Sticks, dog is dog. Hug FPV. Thanks, guys. Bad habit. Thanks. So I don't know if anyone has any questions. I'll probably just stay on here for a few minutes. It seems like this stream setup is working okay. I can see what you're talking about. It's slightly choppy. I don't know. I mean, I have a good internet connection. I tried it through OBS a minute ago and it didn't work very well. So this is going through just the webcam feature. So gonna do some flying. I'm gonna see if I can get my buddy to come fly the DJI FPV drone. You see, I flew it like one pack and I'm already kind of bored with it. I mean, I think it's an awesome machine, but for our purposes, it's really not that exciting. So I want to see if he can fly it, his first time doing FPV. And I'm going to see what he thinks. And I'm going to take one of my freestyle quads up and try to chase him as he's flying it. I tried to do that earlier with my kid, and I forgot I didn't have that quad bound up to the radio I brought. And by the time I figured it out, the battery was already done on that DJI FPV drone. But she had a really good time flying it. Joelle, is the DJI drone worth getting if I already fly FPV? I'm still formulating my opinions. I'm going to have a video out in the next 2 or 3 days. But honestly, if you fly FPV and you are a good enough pilot to fly freestyle and you have a GoPro Hero, you're going to get just as good of footage or better with that DJI FPV drone. If you're a camera guy and you already have a Mavic 2 Pro, you're going to get better footage with that setup. This is kind of a product for people that want to be able to try FPV without going into manual mode. I think the majority of users, you see, we think FPV and we think, oh my gosh, acro, diving down the side of a building. I don't really think that's what it's for. I think it's for be able to fly DJI's auto level modes with FPV, get the immersion sensation of actually flying, and then graduating in two different directions, right? So if you decide you want better, smoother cinematic footage, they may go towards a Mavic 2 Pro. And if they decide they want to do more FPV maneuvers, learn the ways of acro, then go off towards the FPV land. I don't recommend any beginners or even intermediate pilots to really fly this in full manual mode very often, unless you're in a wide open space. I don't expect you to go driving tree gaps with this. I don't expect you to go taking this on a race course. It will smash. Let's see what else. Bad Habit says he'll buy it. Pretty sure you can do a hack for the geofencing. It worked on the Mavics. I'll look into that. I'm not going to fly anywhere within 5 or 6 miles of an airport, but you know, these are some of the spots that I do fly already regularly, and they're very far. It's weird. The shape of these geofences is strange because there's like a 2-mile section where everything's fine to fly. And then you go further away from the airport, and all of a sudden it's not fine. The shape of this geofence is really strange. So it's not like I was trying to fly unreasonably close to the airport. No, I'm like miles and miles away. So we're just talking a little bit about this DJI FPV drone. I haven't crashed it yet. I've only flown it a few packs. I did have a total novice fly it, and I'm going to see if I can get another novice to fly it to really get the sensation of FPV. The goggle view is spectacular. I really didn't think if it was going to be that significant going from what we normally see on like a Vista or an Air unit, which is 720p up to 810p. But you also got to consider the sensor on this new camera. The camera itself is all of a higher quality. So the image that you see is just breathtakingly great. A lot of the little small interference that you get, I don't want to say interference, but the small pixelation that you can get on the current DJI FPV system, that really seems to be way diminished. I don't know if it's because it's using this combination of 5.8 and 2.4. I'm sure it's stomping like a million channels at once, but it's really quite good. What else? Anybody else have any other questions about this DJI FPV drone? I'm also going to be taking out the Shocker tank. I'm going to see if I can get some chase footage. Hopefully not do a midair and crash both of them. I'm not really sure if I'm going to end up keeping this. Do you happen to pick up the weird stick controller? That looks pretty interesting. I did not pick up the stick controller. I think it's really mostly a gimmick. Now, I did mention in the FPV sales alerts group when I posted a sale for that, that it really seems like more of a novelty. I bet it's fun, but I just don't think it's that practical. I think it's like the Power Glove in the movie The Wizard. You know, when Lucas puts it on and he starts driving with the game, and like I don't think in real life you can actually do all this stuff, but it looks incredible. It looks so fun. But the truth of the matter is the fidelity of the stick movements that you can do with 2 thumbs versus your wrist by itself, it's just not on the same level. So I think it's definitely a cool toy. I think some people could get away with flying it for fun the majority of the time with the stick controller. But I think for most people that want the actual fine control to get the maximum out of their footage, you're just going to want to use the regular standard controller. I actually do like the standard controller a little better than I thought it was. It's very similar in size to the Tango 2 or an Xbox One controller, but I really, on the videos and the footage, I thought the gimbals were going to be unreasonably tiny. And I think that if you're a pincher, it probably is very annoying, but for a thumber, I find the gimbals on there totally fine. And what I always say when you're first learning to fly, if you're thinking, should you be a thumber or a pincher? Well, you thumb if you're not dumb. Just remember that, kids. Now, if you're already used to pinching and your wife likes it, there's no need to change. Just do as you already know how to do. But if you're starting and you're wondering which one should I do, I like thumbs. But a lot of people like pinching too. So, you know, there's no right or wrong way. Joel, are you concerned about the FAA rules and the future of the FPV hobby? I am concerned. I think there is going to be a lot of changes coming in the next few years. But what has me encouraged is the number of manufacturers that are all of a sudden shifting towards these lower weights. Catalyst Machine Works, Flywoo with the Explorer, HGLRC with the Recon. All of those last two are Dave C. inspirations. Kebab is coming out with an ultralight frame. Umagod has the 250 frame that he's about to release. And guys, just spoiler alert, I'm working on some special stuff with Armatan that's going to slide right into that category. So it really is a bit difficult to get under 250 grams, even with something as light as the Flywoo Explorer, but we're really close. You know, if you can get 300 grams, it's really fun. 250 is possible, but like you sacrifice either flight time or power. But we have almost 3 years to get the rest of the way there. So all we need is a little bit more innovation and a little bit more miniaturization of some of these components, and then we can easily be in 250. I'm really excited for the new Insta360 Go 2 that's going to release in 3 days, I believe. This is supposed to have 2K footage. It's supposed to have no longer the 5-minute limit on the recording, and it's supposed to have a few other extra features that I think are going to satisfy a lot of the FPV community's needs that the original release just didn't satisfy. So I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. Armatan's still relevant. Armatan is very relevant. And guys, like I've worked with a lot of the companies in FPV. Like I did do a little bit of input on the Shocker Lite. And I'm providing some similar input to Armatan right now. I can't go over all the details, but there's going to be some videos announcing some of that real soon. There's some cool stuff that they're going to be working on very soon. I think you guys are going to like it. Yes, Insta360 Go 2. I'm super excited for this new camera. It's about 33 grams. If you saw the SJ Cam C100 Plus review that I did, it's about a similar size. That also weighs about 33 grams. Now, that camera had very usable footage, but it does not have the stabilization. So that's a little bit disappointing, but Insta360 Go should give you the footage, the resolution, and the stabilization all in one package. I'm really hoping they're still able to keep a $200 price tag, but even if it's $250, I'll still get it. Jacob, what's going down? So it's Saturday. The weather's good. Ooh, I think my battery might be done charging. I can see it behind me back there. So anyway, anybody that's still on the stream right now, can you comment? Is it still laggy? Can you hear me okay? What does it sound like? I'm using my microphone that is, I don't know if I can even adjust the levels of this mic at all. But I'm recording right now on the Sony a7 III with the Rode Video Micro attached to it on the hot shoe. Okay, cool. Okay, great. Thank you so much, guys, for helping me test out this setup. I'd been on a lot of shows recently. I was on Original Dobo this week. I was on Michael Rollins 3 or 4 times very recently. And then I was also on, I don't know, I can't even keep track of all the shows I'm going on recently. And I noticed that everybody has like a good streaming setup, and I was using my iPhone, so I looked like kind of a scrub. So hopefully now I can actually use my camera that I shoot with. I think it probably is going to look and sound a bit better. So, wow, Maui. My buddy Yvonne was just in Maui the other day. I know he went and flew with some of the Maui. I think it was Maui. Was it Maui? I think he went and flew with some of the Maui guys over there. He sent us a couple of pictures. It looks like some of the Maui guys were flying DJI. Were you guys racing down there over in Hawaii? Let me know, Brian Cartwright. I'm curious about that. But I did note that there was lots of DJI being flown in Hawaii, which makes perfect sense. Some luscious greenery, some great waterfall adventures to fly over. Do you make sure in conformal coat everything if you're going to be flying around that much water? I mean, I guess at that point, that water is going to be salt water, which is going to be pretty deadly for most FPV components anyway. Man. What are you guys out there flying today in the chat? Let me know what you're flying. I'm going to be flying the new DJI FPV drone in a minute. I'm also going to be flying the Shocker tank. I'm hoping to get some chase footage if I can get my buddy to join me. I'm going to put him on the sticks on this new DJI FPV drone. Also, maybe going to fly the Shocker Lite 4 that I just built up. I actually already finished the video, so I'll only fly that if I have extra time. And then I got to figure out what I want to have for dinner. I'm thinking maybe some fajitas tonight. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. This was a pretty good test. Forrest is flying the Mobula Lite 7. Nice. I haven't tried that one out, but it looks really, really cool. Pacific says he's flying the QAV-S with T-Motor F60 Pro 4. Ooh, I really, really used to love the F62. I had that on a couple of builds. Such great motors, man. So powerful and smooth. Jason just got back from maidening the Nazgul 5. Yes, that is such a great bang for the buck, man. It's really spectacular, the bind and flies that you can choose from these days. My two favorites are the Nazgul, which the current version is Nazgul V2, and the Roma by Diatone. Those are the two. You can't go wrong with either one of them. The Nazgul 2, if you can't get it, make some minor improvements. But if you see the Nazgul original on sale, save a couple bucks and buy that because it just flies so spectacularly well. Let's see what else. ND says QAV-S versus the Apex. Well, that's a tough call. I've really been wanting to get my hands on the QAV-S. It looks fantastic. I love the metal cage bits that they've integrated into this frame. And so I would really have to put down the two on two different categories. We're talking about the QAV-S versus the Apex. If your goal is maximum bashability, the 6mm arms of the Apex, and they both have pretty good motor protection, but I got to give the nod on overall bashability to the Apex. However, if you're more prone to front end impacts, front end crashes, you just didn't see that tree pop out in front of you, then I might have to say the QAV-S might be a little bit better. The metal cage on that thing looks absolutely, super tough. I mean, I love the metal cage on Armatan's frames like the Badger and Marmot. So I think that really depends on it. Are you somebody that crashes head on? If so, go for the cage of the QAV-S. I think that Prestige brand wise, it's kind of hard to argue with the Prestige of the Apex line, but it's not all about brand awareness, guys. Let's see. Mindbender's flying an Armatan Marmot with T-Motor Holmes. Man, that sounds like a good combo, Holmes. Pacific Northwest, yes, they've been good. Nice. Jarambu smoked an Emax Eco Motor 2 today. Well, the good news is that motor is really inexpensive. So getting yourself back in the air is going to cost you all of what, 11, 12 bucks. Emax really is probably who we all owe a debt of gratitude, no matter what budget motors you're flying. And make no mistake, guys, I fly some budget motors sometimes on some of my builds. I fly my favorite right now are the Newbie Drone Flows, but I don't think any of those budget motors would exist without Emax taking the first step to offering that budget motor in the Eco line. I think the Zing E's are also really good. If you've ever flown a Nazgul, you've flown those. Those are spectacular motors. In addition to that, T-Motor has a few motors that are all in the $13 to $15, $16 range. The Hyperlight E's are also pretty good. Really like those. Apex with the Cyberzangs. I mean, I like the Apex. I'm actually building an Apex 4 right now. That's going to be up on the channel very soon. I'm excited about that. I'm just debating on whether or not to fly this Apex 4 on 4S or 6S. So we'll see. Dog is either going to slap a Cadex Vista into his Roma F5 or he's going to build a custom 5-inch. What do you recommend? Man, I'll tell you what. Diatone sent me the analog version of the Roma, which was quite juicy indeed. But I really liked the fact that they built it with the DJI version of the flight controller already on there. So if you did want to switch to DJI, you have like a plug and you just solder 4 wires and boom, you're ready to go. So it's like so easy to convert those Roma builds over to DJI if you want to. So, I mean, for the money, I would just go with that Roma, man. Convert it over and then start assembling components for your next build. Do a fresh build there. And the reason I say that is because if you're going to really start flying and pushing, you're going to want to have a spare build ready for whenever you break something, because it's going to happen. You're going to crash. You're going to break something. You're going to be crying if you can't fly. You're going to have good weather like I have today, and you're not going to be able to go fly because you don't have a spare. So keep in mind to keep that spare. Let's see. Vampire, what up, man? Brian Cartwright says he's out on the loop of FPV. Well, you come to the right place, Brian. He recently joined Maui, and since no one has posted any meetups, so I'm not sure. Well, I'll tell you what, Brian. My buddy came all the way from Houston to Maui, and he found people to fly with. So if you're in Maui, I guarantee you those people are there. He was flying with them. I saw some Samoan guys with DJI goggles on their heads, and he still hasn't shown his vacation FPV footage. I'll tell you this right now, guys. If I go to Maui, I'm sorry, but you're probably not going to get any FPV footage out of me. If I go to Maui and I suggest to my wife, hey, I know we were going to go on that snorkeling excursion today, but how about instead you just come sit next to me while I fly my drone? I'm going to get divorced. No trial separation, no counseling. I'm going to get effing divorced. And I don't want to get divorced, guys. So sorry, but there's not going to be any Maui FPV content from me, but hopefully Yvonne will be posting some up soon. Jarambo says he's scared to buy more. It was my second flight with them. If you're that new, I do suggest getting the simulator and mixing in some simulator sessions daily. Daily get on the sim an hour. And then when you go out on the weekend or the evenings to fly a little bit, you'll have a little bit better of that muscle memory and be a little bit more comfortable on the sticks and a little bit less worried that you're going to crash. Well, guys, my battery is now charged, so I think I'm just going to go out and fly it. So thanks for stopping by and helping me test this gear. I think I'm going to start trying to live stream at least once a week. Maybe we'll do Q&As or pick a certain topic and just, go off the cuff about it. I really wasn't sure if I could even talk on camera live, but it really hasn't been that bad. So I'll let you know how that goes. And if I wreck my Shocker tank into the DJI FPV drone, I'll make sure and post that too. Thanks, guys.